Okay. All right, then. I guess, is it Brandy? If you the one I'm swearing in?
Yes, me and Taylor.
Both of you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the oath?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I go a lot slower if you don't have the oath. So. And I don't make y'all keep your right hand raised because it's quite a lengthy oath. Grace has probably heard this. Nita's heard it a million times, but I tell everybody, being a volunteer advocate is a very important job, obviously, because the oath to be an advocate is twice as long as the oath to be president of the United States. So that must be pretty important. So, okay. And I always tell everybody when I say I state your name, I have some people that say I state your name rather than stating their name. So
That's funny.
I'll go slow and we'll get through this. So if you would repeat after me, I state your name.
I, Brandy Coberly,
Do hereby solemnly promise and pledge
do hereby solemnly promise and pledge
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of a court-appointed special advocate
of a court-appointed special advocate
as assigned and appointed
as assigned and appointed
by the judge and/or district court
by the judge and the district court
of the 223rd
of the 223rd
and 31st Judicial District,
and 31st Judicial District,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve the confidentiality
preserve the confidentiality
of any and all information received,
of any and all information received,
holding all such matters in the strictest confidence,
holding all such matters in strictest confidence,
to be divulged only in accordance
to be divulged only in accordance
with the law and the rules and the guidelines
with the law and rules and guidelines
of the courts,
of the courts,
and then only in the furtherance
and then only in furtherance
of the best interests of the child or children.
of the best interest of the child or children.
And I furthermore promise and pledge
And I furthermore promise and pledge
that as a court-appointed special advocate
that as a court-appointed special advocate,
in carrying out my duties as such,
in carrying out my duties as such,
my paramount concern will be
my paramount concern would be
the best interests of the child or children involved.
the best interest of the child or children involved.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, we got through it. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Thank you all for what you do. I tell everybody this, but you can't believe how important it is to these kiddos what you do, because a lot of times these kids won't talk to anybody else except the CASA advocates. So it's very important. I know you don't get paid for it, and I know it takes a lot of your personal time to do what you do. So I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to working with you guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank
Okay.
you, Judge.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Judge.
Y'all have a good rest of your week.
You too.
You too.
Here on a motion. Okay, participate. Mr. Albee is with us for the department. Mr. Turner is with us representing the children. Mr. Michelson is with us representing the mother, Ms. Fernandez. And Ms. Grant is filling in for Mr. Barfield, representing the father, Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Michelson, were you expecting your client?
I was. I spoke with her last evening.
Okay. Ms. Grant, are you expecting Mr. Fernandez?
Mr. Barfield said that Mr. Fernandez is aware of the hearing and he's aware that I would be here on behalf of Mr. Barfield, but I don't see him in the room.
Yeah, I only have one person. I know Kristen Davis, Danielle Smith. I know who they are. I have somebody on a Samsung phone. Let me get them in and see who they are. All right, this is Judge Graham. I've let somebody into the Fernandez hearing under a Samsung SM.
Yes, yes, sir.
Who are you?
I am Simon Fernandez.
Okay, all right. For the record, then Mr. Fernandez is with us. Mr. Fernandez, your attorney, Mr. Barfield, must be in another court, but Miss Grant, Stacy Grant, is filling in.
Okay.
So, all right, Mr. Michelson, I don't see your client in the waiting room. Mr. Albee, do you need Kristen Davis or Danielle Smith in?
Hey, Danielle Smith, Judge, but in the meantime, if you could put me and Miss Grant and Mr. Michelson into a breakout room, we might be able to solve this without hearing.
All right, I'll put Mr. Turner in with y'all too. So,
Thank you. Judge, we have reached an agreement that the parties will work the services as set out in the petition. We will not require Mr. Fernandez to work a BIP program at this time, but he will do individual counseling, parenting classes, OSAR evaluation, drug screens. Ms. Fernandez will also work services, counseling, OSAR evaluation, parenting, and random drug screens. The parties have separated. The children are with their dad right now. That visitation between mom and dad would be between them, and it wouldn't necessarily have to be supervised by anybody from the department.
Okay. All right, Ms. Grant, is this your client's agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Michelson, I know you can't necessarily comment since your client's not here. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I do know that from our conversation last night that those terms would be agreeable to her.
Okay. Okay. All right, then, based on what I've heard, then I will approve that agreement. I'll order the parents to work the services as set out in the petition and as Mr. Alvey has outlined on the record today.
Yes, sir.
Do we want a compliance hearing?
30 days, Your Honor, if you can.
Okay, then we will have a compliance hearing. Now, everyone will be back on August 18th, 2023. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance to see what time on August 18th. Mr. Alvey is with us for the department. Casa is with us. Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the child. Ms. Grant is filling in for Mr. Barfield, representing the mother, Miss Ankton, who I think is with us. And then Mr. Adams is with us representing the father, Mr. Hatcher, who is with us. That accounts for all the parties. Mr. Alvey, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would call Haley Grissom.
Thank you, Mr. Alvey.
Ms. Grissom, you're a St. Francis Ministries pharmacy specialist.
Yes, sir.
In that capacity, you are familiar with Indica,
Yes, I am.
and she is currently placed where?
She is in a foster home in Carson County.
And is that foster home meeting all of her needs?
Yes.
Are there any special issues or special needs with the child that we need to make the court aware of today?
No, sir.
Any medical issues with the child that at all that we need to be aware of?
She has been diagnosed with the sickle cell trait, but besides that, nothing. The doctors have said that it's nothing that will affect her. It will affect her children. So it's just something she needs to be aware of.
Her mother is Miss Danielle Ankton.
Yes.
Father is Mr. Nicoa Hatcher.
Yes, sir.
Both of them have been ordered to work services through a service plan.
Yes.
Have they completed any portions of their service plan?
Yes, they have. They've completed completed individual counseling. They've completed couples counseling. Danielle has completed the COPSD program through daily outpatient, and Nicoa has completed an outpatient treatment program through Serenity.
And where are they currently residing?
Out of Colorado.
And have we had any courtesy workers or anybody been able to go see their home?
An ICPC has been requested on their residence. We have not heard back from Colorado on that.
So nobody, what you're saying is nobody that we know has gone in and seen their home since they've moved to Colorado?
Yes, to my knowledge, yes.
All right. They were ordered to do random drug screens, and illegal substance abuse has been an issue in this case from the beginning. When was the last time they did a random drug screen?
The last time that they screened for me was March 27th of this year.
Have you asked them to do additional drug screens since March 27th?
Yes, I have on multiple occasions.
And, but there hasn't been a new drug screen in a couple, 3 months now.
No, there hasn't.
And today, are you asking that Miss Ankton and Mr. Hatcher be ordered to hair follicle and UA drug screen?
Yes, sir.
And you've informed them that if they can't get to Texas to do a drug screen, that they'll have to pay for their drug screens in Colorado?
They actually won't have to. There's an order at a facility close to them. It's been active, and they've known that they can go. They know the address and the times that they can go.
Now, prior to leaving to go to Colorado, had they informed you that they had quit using any forms of marijuana?
Not before they left, but since they've been gone, they've told me that they've quit using.
Okay. So you would anticipate that their drug screens would be clean of all substances?
Yes, if what they're telling me is true, that they've quit using marijuana in all forms, then it should be clean.
And do you know if mom is currently working?
Danielle she's told me that she's working at Amazon. I know that she did provide me proof of that when she got hired. I have asked her to provide me pay stubs since she's been up there, and I haven't received any pay stubs.
Do you know if Mr. Hatcher is working anywhere?
He reports that he's working at a demolition company in the area, and same thing with him. Like he reports that he's working, but I haven't gotten any pay stubs from him.
Have you requested that they provide you with proof of income?
Yes.
Because you don't know what their environment is, you don't know what the home looks like, because the parents have been less than cooperative with their drug screens. Do you believe that it would not be safe to return a child to them today?
I am in agreement with that.
Would you agree with me that it would be contrary to the child's general welfare to return the child to her parents today?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking that the court continue the department as temporary managing conservator of the child at this time?
Yes.
Pass witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grissom, I know the parents were visiting the child before they moved to Colorado. Have they had any form of visit since they moved to Colorado?
They did make the first few. When they moved, they asked me if we could move the visits from 2 hours twice a week to 4 hours on Mondays, because Danielle was working Tuesday through Saturday. So they were going to be driving down here, and they said they wanted their 4 hours on Monday. So we were doing that, and they did show up for the first few visits. They have not made the last 5.
Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Grant, questions?
Ms. Grissom, are the visits for 4 hours on Mondays still able to be scheduled, or have those been suspended?
They have not been suspended.
Okay. If Mr. and Mrs. Hatcher provide a clean hair follicle UA drug screen, are you willing to continue that visitation?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And as far as any other classes or services, are those able to be scheduled in Colorado, or would those need to be scheduled in Texas?
They can be scheduled in Colorado. They're done with the majority of like the counseling and the actual classes that they need to do. The only thing that they've not been doing, to my knowledge anyway, is going to NA meetings. They've been court ordered to go to an in-person meeting at least once a week, and they haven't been sending me logs of that. So that would be the only thing that they need to do ongoing.
Okay, so you still need some pay stubs and some logs for NA AA meetings, and those would assist you in completing the rest of the items, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Mr. Adams.
Ms. Grissom, to your knowledge, are they trying to get the case transferred to Colorado?
They have not mentioned anything of that to me.
You don't know of any paperwork or anything that they've turned into CPS in Colorado?
No, sir.
Okay. And on the drug screen that you're asking for today, would it be an issue for the department if they were able to drug screen tomorrow?
No, I think that would be fine.
Okay, no further questions.
Why do we want to make it tomorrow instead of today?
Your Honor, I talked to my client and he has to go to work right after this hearing. And he's able to get to the drug testing place tomorrow.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kincaid?
Thank you, Your Honor. Is the child up to date on her medical and dental?
Yes, she is.
Okay, and is she on any prescription medications?
No.
I believe that we had discussed visitation between the siblings. Has that been implemented?
Yes, it has. I did do a referral request for the sibling visitation. And I think the first one might have actually happened yesterday, but they were going to do at least 4 during July and August, 2 hours apiece between Indica and her siblings that are in Amarillo.
Okay, and do you know how that went?
I don't. I haven't been able to talk to anybody yet.
Okay, but we do have that set up so that she's getting to see her family.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. All right, anyone have further questions for Ms. Grissom? All right, then, Mr. Alley, any other witnesses?
No further witnesses, Your Honor. We rest.
Thank you. Ms. Grant, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, witnesses?
I'd briefly call Mr. Hatcher. Mr.
All right.
Hatcher, are you working?
Yes, I am.
What's the name of the company you work for?
Phoenix Demolition.
And do you work, how many hours a week do you work?
It ranges, like, if it's raining outside, like, I won't get that many in a week. But last week I got over 40 hours.
Okay. Do you have pay stubs from that
Yes,
job?
I do have a couple. I just keep forgetting to send them to her.
Can you provide those to Ms. Grissom?
Yes, I will today.
Okay. Do you, you informed me that you had a busy schedule today with work. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you're able to get away tomorrow to drug screen?
Yes.
And are you agreeing to do that drug screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Albee, any questions?
No, sir. No question.
Ms. Grant, questions?
Just one. Mr. Hatcher, are you able to take Danielle with you to the drug screen appointment if it's ordered for tomorrow?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Ms. Kincaid, any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Adams, any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Kincaid, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then, Ms. Kincaid, recommendations?
Continue department as temporary managing conservator, continue current placement. That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you. And CASA, anything to add?
Nothing additional to add, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, then I will continue department as temporary managing conservator, continue the current placement. I'll order both parents to both Hair Strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. tomorrow. And I will set a final hearing in this case for September 15th, 2023. As far as I know, that will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of. We're here on a final hearing, September 15th, to see exactly what time we'll hold that hearing. CASA is with us. Mr. Harris is with us representing the child. Ms. Ratliff is with us representing the mother, Ms. Cochran, who I understand is incarcerated. And Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the father, Mr. Cochran, who I understand is incarcerated.
Judge, I did speak with the jail yesterday about the time change in the hearing, and they confirmed with me she would be present. So I'm not sure why she's not on. Mom.
Okay, we can wait a few minutes if you want to try to contact them and see.
All right, I'll give the jail a call. Thank you.
Ms. Kincaid, you have any word from your client?
Your Honor, typically the jail only lets one person come in on the Zoom calls, and it seems like they just kind of pick one or the other. Whenever we did the mediation, he was on the phone line, so I don't think that they're going to bring him to the front today.
Okay. You mentioned mediation. Was this case settled at mediation?
It was, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Is someone going to just announce the agreement, or do we need testimony?
Well, Judge, I'll announce the agreement, and then I may need to put some testimony on it. It's a termination case, and I would feel more comfortable with that.
Okay. Do you have time to do that, or do we need to, like I said, I don't have anything else scheduled till noon.
I don't know, Judge. The agreement is this, Your Honor. The mom and dad will stipulate to the, I think it's the O ground where they have failed to complete services as court ordered. And they will have their parental rights terminated. The placement, which is Miss Trina Younger, who is the grandparent to the child, is going to be named the permanent managing conservator, and the department is going to be dismissed. There's an agreement that Mr. Cochran's grandparents will be named or will receive access to the children based upon the standard visitation rate over 100 miles. That order has been sent to everybody. I believe everybody has agreed to that order at this time. So we want the court to find that it's in the best interest of the children for their parents' parental rights to be terminated, and that the grounds for termination are failure to complete services as ordered by the court. With that in mind, that's our agreement.
All right. And I assume that because of their current legal situations that I'm going to find that they're terminated solely on the O ground and nothing else. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then, Ms. Ratliff, is this your client's agreement?
Yes, Judge, it is. I want to let the court know that I did try the jail. They transferred me over to Skinner and she didn't answer. So I just want to let the court know that. And my client was present at the mediation and did sign off on it. She just simply wanted to be here for the hearing today when we put that agreement on the record. But I'm certain that her mom or I will have her informed by the end of the day. They didn't have her ready.
Okay.
That's our agreement.
All right. Ms. Kincaid, is this your client's agreement?
It is, Your Honor. He was also present at the mediation and signed the mediated settlement agreement.
All right. Mr. Harris, are you in agreement?
Yes, sir, I am. I believe it's in the child's best interest.
All right. And CASA?
Yes, Judge, we are in agreement.
Okay. All right. Then I just need some names. I need the name of the maternal grandmother that's being named permanent managing conservator. All right, then. I will follow the agreement that was reached at the mediation. I will find, based on the evidence, that it's in the best interest of parental rights of Cassandra Cochran, the mother, and Cody Cochran, the father, be terminated. I'll terminate those rights today based on Texas Family Code Section 161.001, subsection B10. That will be the only ground found for termination. I will name Trina Younger the sole permanent managing conservator of the child. I will order that Eddie and Patricia Cochran have standard visitation as set out in the Texas Family Code for individuals residing more than 100 miles away. The department and all other court-appointed relationships will be dismissed after all appellate and de novo periods have expired. Ms. Ratliff, Ms. Kincaid, if you will explain to your clients their appellate and de novo rights. Okay, since we have a final resolution in this case, there won't be any further hearings set. I appreciate you all working that out. We're here on an adversary hearing, and we will stand. Mr. Albie's with us for the department. CASA is with us. Mr. Harris is with us representing the children. I don't see, I've got one person in the waiting room under a phone number. We'll see who they are. He's not with us. Before we get started, Ms. McCauley, you have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, you have the right to ask that the court consider whether or not you're entitled to a court-appointed attorney. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You want to ask for an attorney?
Yes, please.
Have you been given the paperwork to fill out for an attorney?
I was supposed to go to the CPS office and get it, and I did not get it in time.
Okay, well, we've got to go forward with this hearing today. We have to have it heard by next week by law, and I don't have any other time to reset this case. So we'll have to go forward today. You can get that paperwork from the department, from St. Francis, or you can get it emailed or from my office, or you can come to my office at the Randall County Annex on Western Street to get it. Do you understand all those ways to get that paperwork?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you'll have to get it. You'll have to fill it out completely and give a good phone number, a good address, and if you have it, a good email address so we can let you know whether or not you qualify for an attorney.
Okay.
Okay, then that tells me that Mr. McCauley Sr. is not with us. This case was set.
No,
for 12.
he's not.
This case was set for 12 o'clock. It's now 12:06. So Mr. Alvey, you may proceed.
Judge, if you would allow me to have a brief conversation with Miss McCauley in a breakout room, maybe with Mr. Harris.
Where do we stand, Mr. Alvey?
Judge, I believe we can announce that there's agreement between Miss McCauley and the department that the department will continue as temporary managing conservator of these two children, that Miss McCauley will work services after St. Francis Ministries Permanency Specialist reaches or develops a plan with her, and that the children will be continued to be placed in Miss McCauley's aunt's home, which is where they're currently placed.
Okay. All right, Ms. McCauley, you've heard what Mr. Alvey announced as far as an agreement. Are you in agreement with that today?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Mr. Harris, are you in agreement?
Yes, thank you. I needed to know the name of the aunt. I don't know that I've got it. And Judge, where does she live?
Mikey, can you tell us?
She lives in Pampa, sir.
Okay. That's what I need to know. Thank you.
All right, then. Costa, you've heard the announcement. Does anything else y'all want to add?
No, nothing to add, Your Honor. We agree. We've been to visit the children at the home and it's safe and appropriate.
Okay, thank you. All right, then I will follow the agreement. I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. I will continue the children's current placement with Ms. Perez. We'll have a status hearing in this case on August 16th, 2023. It will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. Ms. McCauley, you'll need to get that paperwork and get it filled out and get it back to me or back to CPS, and CPS or St. Francis will get it to me. You need to do that as soon as you can so you have time to visit with your lawyer before this next hearing on August 16th.
Okay, I will.
And the purpose of that hearing, just so you'll know, status hearing is they're going to come, St. Francis will come up with a plan of services they want you to work. At the next hearing, that's when we'll discuss which services you need to work, or if you think some of the services aren't needed, or if you think you can't complete them, that's the time you or your attorney will need to let me know that, okay?
Okay.
All right, then. Appreciate y'all working that out. We'll stand in recess on this case. I'll be back.